Surah Al-Fajr, a surah that speaks about faith, history, human nature, and the ultimate return to Allah. But before Allah tells us the story of powerful nations, He begins with a series of remarkable oaths. Allah says, "Wal-Fajri," by the dawn. Have you ever wondered why Allah swears by the dawn? The dawn is a moment of transition. The world is changing, night is ending, day is beginning. It is a reminder that nothing in this life remains the same forever. Seasons change, people change, circumstances change, and sometimes Allah can change a person's situation in ways they never imagined. Then Allah says, وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ, and by the 10 nights. What are these 10 nights? Many scholars explain that these are the first 10 days and nights of Dhul Hijjah, the most blessed days of the year, days connected to Hajj, days connected to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, days connected to sacrifice, obedience, and complete trust in Allah. Think about that for a moment. Out of all the days in the year, Allah chose these days for an oath. These are the days when millions of believers leave behind their homes, wealth, and comfort, answering a call that began thousands of years ago with Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. These are the days that remind us that true success is not found in status or possessions. True success is found in submitting ourselves to Allah. Then Allah says, وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ, and by the even and the odd. This short verse has fascinated scholars for centuries. Some said it refers to all things that exist in pairs, day and night, sun and moon, land and sea, male and female. Others said it reminds us that while creation exists in pairs, Allah Himself is one. Whatever interpretation we reflect upon, one message becomes clear. Nothing in creation is random. Everything has order. Everything has purpose. Everything has been created with wisdom. Then Allah says, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرِ, and by the night as it departs. Notice how Allah describes the night, not when it arrives, not when it becomes dark, but when it leaves, as if Allah is directing our attention toward movement and change. The night does not stay forever. It moves on, and life itself is like that. Every season passes. Every generation passes. Every kingdom passes. Everything in this world is moving toward its appointed destination. Then Allah asks, هَلْ فِي ذَلِكَ قَسَمٌ لِذِي حِجْرٍ, is there in these oaths a message for people of understanding? In other words, will we reflect? Will we think about these signs? Will we recognize the wisdom behind them? Because these oaths are not random. They are preparing us for what comes next. Then, have you ever wondered what happened to the greatest civilizations of the past? Nations that built magnificent cities. Nations that seemed invincible. Nations whose power amazed the world. In Surah Al-Fajr, Allah Ta'ala reminds us of 3 mighty nations whose stories still echo through history. Allah says, أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِعَادٍ, have you not seen how your Lord dealt with Ad? Surah Al-Fajr, após 9. The people of Ad were among the strongest nations ever known. They lived in a magnificent land filled with towering structures and impressive cities. Their power made them proud. Their wealth made them arrogant. They believed no one could overcome them. Allah describes their famous city, إِرَمَ ذَاتِ الْعِمَادِ, Iram, the city of lofty pillars. Surah Al-Fajr, após 7. Its beauty was extraordinary. Its architecture was unmatched. Allah says, التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد, the like of which was never created in the lands. Surah Al-Fajr 8. But despite all their strength and success, they turned away from Allah. They rejected the message of prophethood alayhi salam. They became proud and stubborn. And when they refused to change, Allah's punishment came. A powerful wind swept across their land until nothing remained except a lesson for future generations. Then Allah mentions another mighty nation, وَثَمُودَ الَّذِينَ جَابُوا الصَّخْرَ بِالْوَادِ, and Thamud, who carved the rocks in the valley. Surah Al-Fajr, após 9. The people of Thamud carved homes directly into mountains. Their buildings looked permanent. Their cities appeared impossible to destroy, but they too rejected the guidance of Allah. When Prophet Salih alayhi salam called them to the truth, they refused. Their pride blinded them, and eventually Allah's punishment overtook them as well. Then Allah mentions Fir'aun, وَفِرْعَوْنَ ذِي الْأَوْتَادِ, and Fir'aun, owner of mighty stakes. Surah Al-Fajr, após 10. Fir'aun ruled one of the most powerful kingdoms in history. He commanded armies. He built monuments. People feared him. People obeyed him. Yet his heart became filled with arrogance. When Prophet Musa alayhi salam came with clear signs from Allah, Fir'aun refused to believe. He thought his power would last forever. But no king is greater than Allah. No army is stronger than Allah. No kingdom can stand against Allah's command. Allah destroyed Fir'aun and made him a sign for all generations that came after him. Then Allah reveals what these nations had in common. الَّذِينَ طَغَوْا فِي الْبِلَادِ. They transgressed throughout the lands. Surah Al-Fajr apal 19. فَأَكْثَرُوا فِيهَا الْفَسَادَ. And spread corruption throughout them. Surah Al-Fajr apal 20. Their real problem was not their wealth. Their real problem was not their power. Their problem was arrogance. They forgot Allah. They oppressed people. They spread corruption and injustice. After mentioning the fate of the nations that came before, Allah now turns our attention to a different lesson. فَصَبَّ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّكَ سَوْطَ عَذَابٍ. So your Lord poured upon them a mighty punishment. The message is clear. No matter how powerful a nation becomes, no one can escape the justice of Allah. Those who rejected the truth eventually faced the consequences of their actions. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَبِالْمِرْصَادِ. Indeed, your Lord is ever watchful. Allah is always aware of what people do. Nothing is hidden from Him. Every good deed and every wrongdoing is recorded. After reminding us about the downfall of past nations, Allah shifts the focus to something much closer to us, the way human beings think. فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ رَبُّهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَمَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمَنِي. When Allah blesses a person with comfort, wealth and ease, He says, "My Lord has honored me." Many people believe that success in this world automatically means Allah is pleased with them. وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانَنِ. But when Allah tests him by restricting his provision, he says, "My Lord has humiliated me." When difficulties come, people often think Allah has abandoned them. Kalla, no indeed. Allah immediately corrects this misunderstanding. Honor is not measured by wealth, and hardship is not a sign of humiliation. Both comfort and difficulty are tests from Allah. What truly matters is how a person responds to those tests. بَلْ لَا تُكْرِمُونَ الْيَتِيمَ. But instead you do not honor the orphan. Allah now points to the real problem. Rather than showing mercy to those who need care and protection, people often become occupied with their own desires and forget the rights of others. وَلَا تَحَاضُّونَ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. And you do not encourage one another to feed the poor. A believing society is built upon compassion, generosity, and concern for those who are struggling. But when these values disappear, hearts begin to harden. وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمًّا. And you consume inheritance greedily. People become so attached to worldly gain that they ignore justice and take what does not rightfully belong to them. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. And you love wealth with intense love. The desire for wealth is natural, but when the love of money becomes greater than the love of Allah, it begins to control the heart. A person starts measuring success by possessions instead of faith, and worldly life becomes more important than the hereafter. But this attachment to the world will not last forever. A day is coming when everything people compete for, everything they are proud of, and everything they depend upon will come to an end. كَلَّا إِذَا دُكَّتِ الْأَرْضُ دَكًّا دَكًّا. No, when the earth is crushed and pounded completely, وَجَاءَ رَبُّكَ وَالْمَلَكُ صَفًّا صَفًّا. And your Lord comes and the angels stand in rows upon rows. After describing the earth being crushed and transformed, Allah takes us to the greatest day humanity will ever witness. The angels will stand in countless rows, filling the horizons. Every soul will be gathered. Every truth will become clear. It will be a day of awe, justice, and accountability before Allah. وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمَ. And on that day, hell will be brought forth. The reality that many people ignored during their lives will now stand before them. What was once unseen will become visible. What was once denied will become undeniable. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَذَكَّرُ الْإِنسَانُ وَأَنَّى لَهُ الذِّكْرَى. On that day, man will remember. But how will that remembrance benefit him then? People will suddenly remember every opportunity they wasted, every warning they ignored, and every chance they had to turn back to Allah. But the time for action will have passed. يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي. He will say, "Oh, I wish I had prepared for my true life." Only then will people fully realize that this world was temporary. The real life was always the hereafter. The wealth, status, and possessions they spent their lives chasing will no longer matter. Only their faith and deeds will remain. فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد. On that day, none can punish as Allah punishes, and none can bind as He binds. The judgment of Allah will be perfect. Every soul will receive exactly what it earned. No injustice will be done to anyone. Then, after all the warnings, the scene changes completely. The atmosphere of fear becomes an atmosphere of peace. The words that every believer hopes to hear are finally spoken. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة, O peaceful soul. This is the soul that believed in Allah, the soul that trusted Him during times of ease and hardship, the soul that remained patient through every test, the soul that found comfort in the remembrance of Allah. ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. Return to your Lord, pleased and pleasing. The believer returns to Allah with a heart full of peace, pleased with Allah, and accepted by Allah. What greater success could there be? فادخلي في عبادي. Enter among my servants. Join the company of the righteous. Join the prophets, the truthful, the martyrs, and the believers who remain sincere throughout their lives. وادخلي جنتي. And enter my paradise. With these beautiful words, Surah Al-Fajr comes to its magnificent conclusion, a reminder that beyond every difficulty lies relief, beyond every test lies reward, and beyond this temporary world lies an eternal home for those who believe. May Allah make us among the people who hear these words on the Day of Judgment. Enter among my servants and enter my paradise.